Right guys, I'm just going to do a different type of video. I'm just going to walk around with the phone like this because it's just easier to carry. You can just do these videos for hours. When you put it side on, it's a pain in your wrist. Just strolling around Rome. Very, very beautiful. Look at that. I love Rome. It's just a quick little stop off before I go to Montenegro. I just wanted to talk about something that is on my mind. So you boys know I'm 33 years old. I'd say I'm in really good shape. I dress quite well, in my own opinion. I mean, that is a matter of opinion. Got a decent life, decent assets, pretty cool. And the good thing is, I think, even though I say so myself, I embody, girlfriend, kids, and whatever, that sort of lifestyle. A lot of people don't. Let's slow this down. I'm sweating a little bit. Why am I walking so quick? But a lot of people don't kind of embrace the two. What I talk about, what I mean here is I enjoy like this sort of lifestyle, the freedom of it, but I also celebrate wife and kids and stability and everything that comes with that. I'm not one of those guys that's like, you should be 55 years old, fucking 18-year-olds. Like, I think those guys are weird and I think they're a little bit lost. I think it's kind of cool in your 30s. As it goes on a little bit, you become that weird guy in the dragon shirt at some kind of like LA party, and it's just not really for me. But one thing that I think we've lost, and the reason I said that is because I think I'm the perfect person to talk on this in terms of balance. And I look at most guys my age, and I look at what they're doing. I look at when I used to work in finance, and I find it a little bit sad because I used to talk to all the guys in finance and just say, what are you doing this weekend? What's the plan? And they'd always say, kid's birthday party, mate, another one. And this isn't me shitting on them, because they would say it themselves. And they would say, don't have kids because your whole life just becomes birthday party after birthday party and you're not really doing anything. Every weekend you're living for other people. And I was like, look, I don't mind that. I don't mind living for other people. I actually think it's a sign of good growth in your life when you actually start living for others and you're caring more about your kids and other people than yourself. I actually think that's really, really important, because I've always said to you guys, anxiety is actually selfish. Because oh my God, everyone's looking at me, and it's like, nah, that's a weird way of looking at it, man. Like, what do you mean everyone's looking at you? Like, that's like an ego play. Do you know what I mean? That's not a relaxed man that is actually shy and afraid of people. That's somebody who wants everyone to be looking at him. That's a weird vibe. So the way I look at it is like, their lives have gone. It's like they're castrated men. It's like they were bulls that have become cows. I find that really sad. I find that really, really sad. It's there's no need. Like, I'm currently here in Rome. Look at this view. It's just phenomenal behind me there. That's pretty crazy. I don't think you can see it properly. I'll get a bit closer. But I'm just walking around here, having a good time. I'm free. I have a girlfriend. She knows I'm here. It's one of her favorite places. And, you can be a loyal guy. You can be a guy in a relationship. You can walk around, just grab a coffee, a bit of food. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be kind of living that kind of terrible low-level lifestyle. It's not really congruent with what I'm after and what I think is the right way to live. So I'm just walking around, coffee, food, enjoying my life. But it's the freedom. It's the fact that I'm off to Montenegro, and I just went, fuck it. I was with the boys, living in a house full of guys, just free, high testosterone, just lifting weights, just feeling good, and just went, do you know what? I'm out of here. I just feel like going somewhere. I just want to do something. I don't have to ask anybody for permission. I don't have to like message my wife and girlfriend and all girlfriends. I don't have to say, oh, but the kids. It's just like, I don't know why all of that has to go away. I've only ever met one other guy that believes the same thing. He worked in, where do I go here? He worked in finance with me. And he was like, just because you're 37 years old, he was at the time, he was like, doesn't mean your life ends. Just because you have kids doesn't mean your life ends. And he made like a joke of it. And I was like, yeah, I guess. He was like, everybody thinks it is. He was like, everyone thinks that it just stops. Everyone thinks that like life is over when you hit that stage. And he was like, you can still have fun, you can still do shit. He was like, just nobody does. He was like, you can find a babysitter for the kids if you're happy to leave them, or like, you know, you can do whatever you want. And I see all these guys today, and everybody my age is like back pain. They're taking like fucking 4 or 5 different medicines. I know people that have talked about getting the snip. I can't remember what they call it now, but you get the snip, and you know, you basically just, you can't produce kids anymore. It just makes you a little bit soft, in my opinion. It's just not something I would do. My dad never did it. My dad was fathering kids in his late 40s, early 50s. I can't remember how old he was. I think it must have been late 40s. And I just think it's weird. I just think it's weird that people get to that stage in their life where they think that they kind of have to give up. You know, they're all walking around with like tiny little shoulders, tiny little legs, no arse, and a pot belly, and they'll have like a tight t-shirt on and I don't know, like skinny jeans or shit, or like some tracky bottoms, and you think, yeah, you've genuinely given up, haven't you? Like, you've genuinely quit in life. And I find it sad because, yeah, you get a few little grey hairs, maybe you go like bald or whatnot, but there's no reason to give up. But I feel like people just completely give up, and they let like their wives run the world, and they let society tell them what to do. And like I said, I sit on a weird middle ground where like, I think it's good to have like a wife and kids. I actually think it's really good for stability, success, and etc. But what I love about my girlfriend, who I think will end up being my wife, is that like I was talking to her earlier, and I was just like, or at least yesterday, I just said to her, I called her because she's been ill, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to the airport. She was like, you're crazy. I was like, yeah, but I'm just gonna go to the airport and see how close I can get to Montenegro. And then Rome popped up, and I was like, yeah, babe, I'm going to Rome. She was like, oh, that's cool. She was like, it's my favorite place. And I was just like, yeah, I wish you were here, but like, you're not. So I'm just gonna go and live my life. I'm just gonna like explore, walk around, have fun. I think a lot of guys lose that. Like, I'm gonna go and do this, and they go, you think you're gonna go and do that? And the answer should just always just be, yeah, I am. And I don't know why people think that as they get older and they get more responsibilities, that they have to lose all sense of fun, all sense of freedom, all sense of independence. Like, I think you should be allowed to just say, hey kids, I'm just gonna leave you at home with like a family friend, or like your grandma, and I'm just gonna go and explore for like 2 weeks. Like, I don't know why that's not a thing. I don't know why. It's nice, isn't it? I don't know why certain things aren't acceptable. I find it so strange. Like, everybody's just constantly at birthday parties every weekend. You know, they just dress like shit. They don't go gym. They don't lift heavy stuff. They're not really in good shape and whatnot. And I just feel like when you do see a guy who's in his like 40s or 50s, who's confident, who's living life, who can still see looks, the bollocks, got a bit of money and stuff, you know, and people always say midlife crisis. Do you know what I actually think it is? I actually think he just got to a point where he went, do you know what? I've done so much for everybody else over the years. I'm doing so much for other people. Why am I doing this? Why am I being unselfish? Like, why haven't I bought myself something nice? Why have I been spending like 100 grand a year on my kids, my wife, and my family, and making sure they're okay? Like, do you know what? I think I'm going to do something for myself now. And I actually think that's what a midlife crisis is. I don't think it's, you know, I'm going to have just lost my mind and whatever. That's how people like to frame it. And I think that's sad, because the reality of it is, maybe the guy's worked for 20 years from 18. He's 38. Maybe he's gone through a divorce, maybe he hasn't. I don't like to make it about like women are the enemy and it's not an us versus them thing. Like, that's what society wants to do, is rip us apart. But we're better when we're together, and I don't like it. It's just bad people. There's bad women, there's bad men, and you just meet bad people. And when you go through a divorce, everyone's a bad guy. Do you know what I mean? Or a bad woman, so it is what it is. But let's say he goes through a divorce, whoever's fault it is, doesn't matter. He's basically just looking at his life thinking, all I've been doing for 20 years is paying bills, making sure she's okay, making sure the kids are okay, making sure everyone around me is okay. you know, he had a goal of like, I don't know, retiring his parents or something, and then maybe they pass away, and he just sits there and thinks, when am I gonna live? It's not a midlife crisis, it's fucking fear. It's fear of never actually living. It's fear of like, because everyone told you what to do, you were just fucking petrified to do anything. Do you know what I mean? You had all these experts, all these people, these so-called friends and family members saying, you should do this, you should do that. Well, I wouldn't go there, I wouldn't go here. Fuck off. Just do whatever you want to do. And I think that's what a midlife crisis is. I think it's the realization of mortality. I think a lot of guys go, shit, I'm going to die one day. I'm actually going to die. Like, my dad died at 59. I am 33. I believe it's 26 years left on this planet, if that happened to me. Don't think it will, but if it did, it's 26 years left. Do I really want to spend them in an office, making sure everyone else is fed, clothed, etc.? Well, yeah, an element of me does, because I think it's a noble strategy for a man to provide for women and kids, etc., build his empire. But you got to enjoy yourself sometime. You know, you got to be a little bit selfish sometime. You still have a life, even though you're a mum or a dad or whatever. You still have your own existence. You still have your own freedom, your own happiness. You still want to go and do something, you know? And I just think we should normalize not just completely giving up on life once you get past a certain age. Like, I see so many guys just like, they'll meet a woman, maybe like they have their first kid together, and that guy is just wearing just like the shittest clothes. He's in the worst shape. He looks like shit. He's always tired. His dick doesn't work. And he expects her to stay loyal. Like, oh, she looked at another guy. Oh, she's got a crush on Henry Cavill. This just shouldn't be a thing. It just shouldn't be a thing. She should be absolutely obsessed with you, addicted to you. And I think what I'm trying to say here is like, I don't think a lot of you live your life. I think you start off living your life and you're very ambitious, and then you kind of get away from things. So like the self-improvement world, people do it early on and then they distance themselves. And I think the guys that are killing it, the guys that I admire the most, that I think I respect the most, that I look up to as actual masculine guys, they're kind of like carefree. They're carefree. They just say whatever is on their mind. They'll say whatever they think. They'll dress a little bit lavishly, and they just don't really give a fuck. And they're just out here doing whatever they want to do. And it's always true, as I said, selfish men succeed. And it is a hard one to try and get across to people, because it's more of like an in the moment feeling. There's very much a thing with self-improvement where it's like, it's either this or that, it's black or white. There's a big grey middle area where you have to become the type of guy who can make those type of decisions. You know, the type of guy who can get to a certain level in life, who can think for himself. That's what it is, because a lot of you don't think for yourself. Well, like, well, this YouTuber told me this, and this YouTuber told me this, but I also heard this in a video once, and I read this in a course. Everything is case by case. Now, yeah, there's grand rules, there's standard basics that you should follow, but like, at the core, everything should be case by case. So when people say, Chris, what should I do in this scenario? It might be different to what I tell the next guy, because there is no one fits all. Things change. And, you know, sometimes, yeah, you should have been there for your kids. You know, when I see people online talk about, oh, I've just left my kids, who cares? Let the mum raise them, whatever. But then they say, oh, do you think you should live with a woman? And I'm like, look, you should always be there for your kids, but living with a woman, I'm not sure if it's the best scenario. Not just for men, I think for women as well. I think we get on their nerves as much as they get on ours. And I think it's a healthy balance to have a house full of women and a house full of men, and you just come together when you all want to see each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's an issue there, but should you be there for your kids when they need you? Fuck yeah. Like, an absent dad is just, it just sucks for everybody. So there's like a balance, you know, but to get back to the core message, we've lost the freedom. Like, how can I just walk around here on a Sunday, just chilling, doing whatever I want to do, when I've got friends of mine that are going to be at a kid's birthday party today? And that's not meant as a horrible comment. I'm not saying, hey, my life's better than yours. I'm sure they're really fulfilled doing that. But you just think to yourself, like, they're being told to do that. They don't want to be them. They want to be doing something else. And maybe they'll have like 1 or 2 highlights throughout the week, which is like the football's on, and then the wife moans about them watching the football. And like I said, it's not that she's the bad person here, she just has different interests. But I think it's up to you, the man, to put your foot down at all moments and just say, I want to do this, leave me alone. I think you have to speak up a little bit more. I want to go here. What, you're gonna go here without me? Like, this isn't even up for discussion. This is my life. I'm the most important person in my life at any given moment. If I die, everybody else is fucked. You put your gas mask on before you put everyone else's on the plane. Is that level of thinking. And, you know, you say, I want to take care of my kids, I want to provide for X or Y. It's getting a bit, yeah, it's a bit shit now. Let's go back. Hopefully you guys can still see me. But yeah, you're the most important person in your life. And people say, I want to provide for my kids, I want to provide for this person or that person. Yeah, but if you're dead, you can't. If you're not sane of mind, then you can't do it. And I think that happens to a lot of people, where they just burn out and they end up resenting their kids, their wife, everyone around them. And the older I get, the sadder it gets, because I'm one of the only guys that still has high testosterone. I'm one of the only guys in my kind of age bracket that still does masculine shit. You know, just like they'll say, oh yeah, like sex is down to like twice a year. It's like, why? I don't understand why. Or like they'll say, oh, that back pain's coming, you won't be able to do the things you do much longer. And I'm like, well, I'm stronger, I'm running and walking further than ever, I'm in the best shape of my life. I look at before and after pictures and everything is significantly better, and I'm like, what's the excuse? But then you hear about their life habits, and I think what they're doing is just like covering up. I actually was going to make a video on this. This is one of the most eye-opening things. Let me move out the way for these women. This is one of the most eye-opening things I think that I ever discovered about myself, society, just men in general, people in general, you know? I think you're most frustrated in life when you're doing things that others want you to do. You're most frustrated when you know something is within your power and you don't do it because of an external invisible force. That's when I've seen people most frustrated. I'll give you an example. You see a beautiful woman, you want to go over and say hello, but the invisible force of fear is holding you back. That will frustrate you more than anything. I have seen men be angry for weeks because they know that, like I said to you guys before, your dream life is behind a very thin wall, and that very thin wall is controlling them, it's controlling their life. And I think men, like I said, let's not make this about anti-women, anti-kids, whatever, because I think it's a great thing. I think every guy should go after it. But I think you've created your own invisible wall by not saying, babe, I love you, you're my wife, but here's what I'm gonna do, and you can't stop me. And if she just goes, this isn't the life I wanted, blah, 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 then you go your separate ways. But you should have figured that out before you got together. You should have figured that out before. And if she was the only option, that's a you problem, because you didn't get yourself in shape, you didn't build a life that was congruent with options, and then you couldn't pick what you actually wanted. So it's a you problem. It always comes back to you guys, always. You're always in control. But so many people don't realize how trapped they are by their mind cage. All the shit that is just in their head, all of the, you know, fake systems that are in place. Like I would say to my friends years ago, I'm making money now, let's go and watch a Champions League game, I'll pay. And they couldn't because of work or kids or whatever, or like I've got school recital thing to go do or a school play. And I was like, yeah, fair enough, but like you got to do it at some point. Do you know what I mean? You got to do something. That was my logic, is like, you can say no, and kids and family and work is a valid reason. It's a really good reason. Like, it's probably the best reason, if outside of like deaths and shit, or, you know, illnesses or whatever. But like, propose another time. Like, say to me, I can't because my kid's birthday. Fair enough. Yeah, it's your kid's birthday. I get it, man. But then go, however, I could organize something for next month. And then don't say, but let me ask the wife. Like, what is that? Like, we're so castrated, we're so unmasculine now. Like, when was the last time you just went, like, I've got a friend called Tebow who is in O&M. What a guy. If I can find his socials, I'll link them to you. We'll be at the house in Granada and he'll go, he's Swiss, so I'll do a little accent, but he goes, man, I want to run up that mountain. You coming with me? And he'll just go. And he's just fucking sick, man. Like, he'll wear like a Jesus cross around his neck, 3-4 buttons open on his shirt, just fucking stomping around the airport with, I think he'd call it a kafta on his head, because he loves kind of Russian Orthodox, and just represents himself hard, just raw masculinity. Fuck you, this is who I am. You know, just says it as it is, just speaks his mind, doesn't give a shit about anything. I love that. I absolutely love that. And like, here's the thing, you think your woman is going to be like, no, I'm in love with my guy, I'd never cheat. When a guy like that with just masculinity just oozing out of him is walking past, she's just like, that's what I really want. And that's who your kids respect, that's who people want to be, that's who other people want to be around. And it's just freedom. You know, I don't want to be that guy that says, you know, men used to go to war, look at us now, because it's just like, yeah, like, it's been overdone and whatever, like, you can't go to war, but you can just fucking wake up and do whatever you want to do. Like, I'm sure when I'm doing this, people are laughing and whatever, and I don't really even think about it, I don't really even care, because I just like getting out, doing whatever I want to do. And I just realized, like, years ago, like, the happiest people are people who are just free here. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. It's my favorite ever proverb, and it's an old African one. I just think it's so strong. If this is solid as a rock, everything is great. And I just find it sad. Like, I look at people's lives, I look at people I know, and you're like, what are you doing this weekend? They're like, I can't, because the kids. And I think a lot of people get married and have kids because it becomes an excuse. I think they get a 9-to-5 job because then it becomes an excuse to, like, well, I can't start a business, I got a bloody job. Or like, you say, do you want to take a crypto risk, for example? Like, you might say to somebody, do you want to put like 20k into this thing? 3 of us are going to do it, we're going to be multi-millionaires, let's go. And they'll go, oh, I've got a mortgage. I think a lot of these things are, people say they're forced upon us. I think a lot of people like it, and I saw this in COVID as well. During COVID, a lot of people were quite happy to do nothing, stay at home. COVID became a great excuse. And when I saw that, I realized human behavior to a degree that I had never seen it at before. And I see a lot of guys doing that. They go, well, I can't because of the kids. Well, I can't because of, you know, what's the wife going to say? I can't because we share a bank account. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, if you want to buy something, if you want to do something, you got to go and do it. That's the definition of masculinity. Just thinking, do you know what? I'm going to give it a go. I remember my mum would say, don't you dare make those kids jump off that rock. And he would just go, nah, shut up. They need to toughen up. And he'd make us jump off into the sea. We'd have a little swim around. He'd find an octopus or something, grab it on a stick and like bring it over and like just do stupid shit all the time. And my mum would say, look, and like, my mum watches my videos, so hi mum. I'm saying this because I almost want to just show the difference in male or like masculine and feminine roles, because it's not that my mum was doing anything wrong, it's just that was her role, you know, to be a bit more cautious. That's female nature. And she would say, you know, you can't just randomly book a holiday. And he was like, why not? And he just booked one on like Christmas Eve at like 1 a.m. and just go, hey, get out of bed, we're going to the airport. Like, I think that's what it means to be a man. Just kind of like waking up and just going, do you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to go here. And then somebody says no, they're not good for your life. I think anybody that says no, you can't do that, or like, you should have a vasectomy, that was the word I was looking for earlier. You know, you should dress like this, you should wear this. They're not good for your life. I think those sort of people that are trying to mold you into something should just fuck off, and you shouldn't have any of them in your world. Like, if my girlfriend ever said to me, you can't go to Rome and then Montenegro without me, then she wouldn't be in my life. And vice versa. If she said to me she's going to Rome to see friends, I would say, have a good time. Do you need a lift to the airport? If I was free. If I wasn't free, I'd be like, yeah, right, but you've got to get yourself there. Do you know what I mean? I can't take you. Just because you're going doesn't mean I have to like move my whole world to make sure you can get there. And people say he's so rude, he's so selfish. Like, I know there's people that don't like me, but my life's amazing. And I just do whatever I want to do. And everyone just fucking moves out the way. Everybody just does whatever the fuck I want them to do. And that sounds like one of those arrogant alpha male things. See what I mean? Excuse me, you had to stop for me. I'm not stopping. And it sounds like one of those arrogant alpha male things. But guys, it's not. It's really not. It's just respecting yourself. It's just saying, I want to do this. And nobody's going to stop me. And you don't like me, I don't care, because this is who I am. This is what I want to do. And I've just got this raw masculine energy. And everyone can fuck off. And I think the more you live like that, the better, because I'm around all the guys from O&M all the time now. And I'd say it's the one big difference between me and everybody else, apart from 2 or 3 of the guys, is like the fact that if I want to do something, it's already done. The fact that, like, if somebody tries to say you can't do that, I'm like, why not? Whereas a lot of people just accept it. They go, okay, he said we can't. And I go, yeah, he said it, but why not? He said we can't, but like, give me a reason. I need a reason. I'm that guy at school that used to question everything. Do your homework. I used to go, why? Because you have to. I was like, no. Treat me properly. Why do I have to do it? Is it for a grade? Is it for case study? Is it for coursework? Then no. Like, fuck off. I'm not doing it. If you don't have a valid reason, then you can eat shit. Because I've always had that mentality and I always will. Like, if somebody says to me, it's just the law. What law? What, somebody just made it up and now I have to follow it? That's the energy you need to live with. And that's the way that you need to live when it comes to family, women, etc. You know, it's like little things, like somebody will be taking a photo on the street and everyone's like, wait. No. I know it's a small thing, but just like walk straight through the middle of it. Why would I stop my day because you've decided to take a photo? It's just weird. Like, that, it sounds so small, but that bridges into everything else that you do, in my opinion. And there's so many of you that are just getting weaker, softer every single day. You just become shells of yourself, and it's really sad. Like, I don't know, man. I just find it sad. Like, it's just, everyone just looks so feeble to me. They just do the softest shit. Like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love family, I love kids, I love that whole idea of it. I think it's beautiful. One of the most beautiful things that a man could ever do. But just do it the right fucking way. Do it because you want to. Do it when you want to. And if anybody tries to force you or change you and whatnot, just push it away. If you've got wife and kids and you decide to just go and travel to fucking New York for the weekend, just go and travel to New York for the weekend. Where are you? Just be like, New York. So what? Like, you almost have to live like that. You almost have to have that level of freedom. Like, you can't just drop it at a whim. Like, if you said you were going to pick the kids up, do it. But if you've got some spare time and you just wake up and you feel like going somewhere, do it. Because my dad used to do that. He used to do it with fishing. He used to just wake up and, you know, we'd wonder where he was. We'd call him and he was like, I'm fishing. If Chris wants to see me, you can drop him off. So he used to just be selfish and go and do his own shit. Sometimes he would take me, sometimes he wanted to go alone because I was a young kid and I wasn't as good as him. Maybe I annoyed him, maybe I'd yap a little bit too much. And he was like, do you know what, I want to go alone. Surround yourself with people that are okay with that. Like, if I asked one of my friends, do you want to come to this football match? And they said, I fucking hate football. I'd say, no worries, mate. You know, if I said, do you want to go out and get drunk tonight? And they said no, I'd say, well, fair enough. He just said no, I'm not going to ask again. Surround yourself with people like that. That's the real people that you want in your life. They really understand what I'm talking about here. But yeah, it's sad. As you get older, you'll see it. You'll just see all these like weak men just falling apart at the seams, just letting the world happen to them. Whereas when they were young, they had so much passion and they wanted to make things happen. They were independent. Whereas now they're controlled by others. It's really sad to see, but it's almost like they did all the right things, but they did them for other people. And you just reach a point where you go, fuck this. And that's, to bring it back, what a midlife crisis is. And it's really interesting. The older you get, the more you realize the mindset of guys that are in their like 40s and 50s who have gone through a divorce or two. And they're just like, do you know what? I'm going to do this for me. I am going to live for me moving forward. I'm going to spend for me. I'm going to put everything into the life that I want. And yeah, I want you guys to embody that as you move forward. And there's no reason you have to do it because you've gone through a divorce. You don't have to do it out of saltiness for a woman, or saltiness for your finances or kids or whatnot. Nobody else ruined your life. You chose to do whatever you chose to do. But just always retain that independence, always retain that masculine energy, always do whatever you want to do, because the older I get, the more I see it. And it's kind of embarrassing. It's really weak behavior, but it's embarrassing. It's just like you get one life and they're not even living it, man. It's really sad. We should talk like this more. I might put something over the screen. I might do more of these and then put something over the screen. I don't know, like a split screen thing. Might put some football highlights. Might put some gaming footage. Gaming footage just brings in the wrong people though, that's the only problem. So yeah, I'll figure it out. I might even release it like this, but if you guys enjoyed it, I travel all the time. I go to all these different cities. I think it would be pretty fucking cool. So yeah, maybe we should do more of these. Boys, remember what I said, it's so important. It's so important. Trust me. See you soon.